Hello, everyone. Suzanne Hacker here with Welcoming Wow, and I am here with another Affiliates Club interview. And today I am here with Connor, and Connor has a great new business that will interest a lot of my vacation rental owners on here. So, Connor, if you want to just take a minute, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your business, and anything else you want to share, and then we'll jump into some more questions.
Sweet. Yeah, thanks. So, my business is called Noshable, and we are a software for kind of building out your own grocery concierge service for your short-term rental, vacation rental, and properties. And essentially, we just want to solve this problem that I think we've all faced, where one of the first things you do when you check in on a vacation or staying in a short-term rental is run errands, and we just don't believe in that at Noshable. And so basically, we integrate with over 20 different major retail grocery stores, and we allow ingrained in the booking process of your Airbnb or short-term rental guests to actually go ahead and pre-order their groceries. And then we partner with either your own current operations, cleaners, people who will be in the property to do the grocery pickup and stocking, or we offer our own trusted fulfillment partners, allowing those guests to arrive with the groceries actually pre-stocked, which gives them a lot of freedom. They don't have to worry about travel delays, or if they just want to stay an extra night in Nashville and they're driving down to Florida, for example, it's just kind of a big weight lifted off their chest. So that's the overall goal of Noshable and what we allow property managers to do.
Yeah, that's great. Can you imagine as a guest, like walking in at 10 o'clock at night and the fridge is stocked, groceries, are in the pantry if there is one. You don't have to worry. You can actually relax because you're right. It's like you got to go to the store. And then where's the store? Where's the nearest store? And you're like, okay, Google Maps, tell me, or you're stopping on the way. So I think it's a great idea. I know there's a lot of local grocery concierges that are out there, but for
Mhm.
you to kind of try to bring that into one spot, I think it's great. So for the vacation rental owners out there, how do they find you? Where would they go to get Noshable set up?
Yeah, you can just go to shopnoshable.com. And Noshable, just in case anyone doesn't know how to spell it, it's Noshable. So, yep, you can see us on their landing page. Feel free to book a demo or ask any questions.
Okay, so it's shopnoshable.com. This is fabulous. So when you say like trusted fulfillment partners, can you tell us a little bit about that as well? Like kind of what's your vision with that and what are you looking for?
Yeah, so as far as that goes, there's also opportunity to collaborate with us at Noshable, even if you're not a property manager, in the sense that oftentimes property managers want to offer the best service for their guests, and now more than ever, they're looking to build a brand. They want you to come back and want to stay in their property every year, and part of that might be just having the groceries in the fridge. And so we do understand, though, at times maybe you don't have that person that we consider trusted fulfillment, someone you already give access to the property, so cleaners, maintenance, whoever that is either willing or just might want to, but doesn't have the bandwidth to actually do the grocery pickup and the delivery. They're never actually doing the shopping. It's just through curbside the way we integrate. But we do have kind of started building out this network of other trusted companies in various states, and we're hoping to kind of make it statewide here soon. That basically allows you to leverage our own network if you can't use your own people, but you kind of have that freedom and choice.
So if somebody's listening and they would want to become a trusted partner or somebody that maybe they have a grocery concierge business already and they're
Yep.
like, ooh, I see this as a good opportunity for me. Do they also just go to shopnoshable.com or is there somewhere else that they should go?
Yep, you can go to shopnoshable.com and just contact us, or you can also find me on LinkedIn. I'm pretty active there, and I'm happy to just talk business through LinkedIn as well. So,
Awesome. All right. And that was Connor Paton.
yep.
So they can find you on LinkedIn. All right. So tell me a little bit about how long ago you kind of started this company and really like what was your why behind doing it? You always
Yeah,
wanted to be an entrepreneur or what?
yeah. Well, I grew up in an entrepreneurial family. I had my first business when I was like 11, so I've always been, entrepreneurial minded and kind of went against the grain. And really, kind of start of June, this business has kind of taken off pretty quickly. Is when I'd had the idea, and I'd had a background in property management and prop tech in the past. I worked for a company called Realpha, so I'd been on the property management side of things. And I just really saw also this big trend in the property management space. And I've talked about this on a couple podcasts and stuff. So sorry if, I'm relaying this information people have heard before, but back in the 70s, hotels were very basic. And it was kind of just a place to stay. And then they started to really create brand loyalty and an experience. And You know, they had like the Regal Club at Hyatt, like all of these things that started to get added on, and they worried about amenities, and they wanted you to have this overall experience instead of just like a shelter essentially. And I think the same thing is really starting to transgress in Airbnb, short-term rentals. You know, Airbnb, when they first had this vision, started out as simply like a couch or a blow-up mattress, and you had to serve them breakfast. Now, maybe they're not serving breakfast, but
Yeah.
people are expecting, at least I personally
Mhm.
expect, you know, the whole rental place to myself. And so I saw like, I think there's going to be this push for people to build their own brands and try and
Yeah.
differentiate and build these experiences. And at least for me, I'm not, this isn't a hit to anyone. Like, I know there are people who are working on like private chefs and all these really cool other amenities, but my family growing up could never really afford those things. And we just, one thing we did spend a lot of money on was groceries. And I know that's a staple for a lot of people's vacations. So that was kind of my approach, is like, how many people can we help start their vacations off their first 2 hours with, you know, more family time or whatever that looks like for them.
True.
So,
Yeah, it's true. And especially, when you're getting a full house vacation rental and you're traveling with your whole family, let's say it's mom, dad, two or three kids, grandma and grandpa, it's about spending that time together as a family. And a lot of times they're cooking, or grilling out or whatever together.
yeah,
So it's not like they're necessarily going out to eat, because when you have like 7 people, imagine the cost that some families then have to incur for that. So
yeah.
yeah, it's a really good point on that. So, I mean, Connor and I met actually at the VRMA this year. I've gone to the golf outing. I think we both went to the golf outing, but not to golf, just to hang out in the clubhouse and get to know people. And
But we
uh,
won. What are you talking about? Didn't it?
I know, right? We were the winners. I wish I was that
Yeah.
good, because I do enjoy it. But um, so tell me a little, and I know I'm getting completely off track, but tell me a little bit about your experience at the VRMA conference this year, since I know that was literally like your first conference for the vacation rental industry. Tell me what you thought about that.
Yeah, I loved it. It kind of felt like trial by fire of just getting thrown into the industry a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'd been, like I said, in the past in the property management side, but at a larger startup, and I was never the one going to conferences or stuff for that nature. I was more on property acquisition and that kind of thing. So it was really great just meeting all the people, and it really feels like a huge community of, you know, friendly people that it's like you can accidentally bump into someone and then you're having a drink with them talking about how you can help each other's businesses. And I think it's a super passionate community. It's a very fun community as well. They pick a fun
That is
place,
true.
you know, Disney, out of
Right?
spring. So I had a great time. I think I got to expand my network a lot, and there's just a lot of really cool companies and things happening in the space too right now, which is super awesome. So
Yeah. Now, you were not there alone. You have a couple of people that help you in the business. Tell us a little bit about that.
yep. So I have a co-founder who's our kind of operations guy, whose name's Mac Howeller. He has kind of previous brand experience at P&G. And then the one who's actually building the product. So I'm not the technical co-founder. I'm not the one who knows how to code. I just get to talk to people. I have the fun job. Is Evan Fix. And so I stole him from Kroger. He was a senior developer there for nearly a decade. So he knows
Wow.
what he's doing when it comes to the grocery space and e-commerce. So the one who's actually building the product.
Oh, that's fabulous. Look, sounds like you got yourself a good group of guys there kind of getting started on this. So good for you all.
Yep.
Um, so you've had some experience with property management before, you mentioned. So apply that a little bit to the vacation rental industry space. And if you were sitting down with a vacation rental owner, or let's say a small property manager, what would your best advice be to them?
Yeah, yeah. And I kind of just hit on this, but I truly believe like building a brand is extremely important. And some of the best brands in the world do this without you even realizing. That's why there's such like a legion of people that want an iPhone or an Android, right? And with some of the biggest KPIs for property managers being things like people coming back and like recurring bookings, stuff like that. I think a big way to get to that is to build a brand. It's the same reason why Disney World has these Disney families that come back every year, multiple times a year. Like they have to do it and they'll make ends meet to go to
Yeah.
Disney. Like if you can create a type of experience, and obviously you don't have to have a roller coaster in your backyard, but that they just like have memorable moments and there's no stress, there's no fighting. Like like with Noshable, we always like to say there's no way you can ensure a perfect vacation. Like you never know what's going to happen, but you can ensure a perfect start. And oftentimes that's just food with a hangry family. So I think building this brand is going to be really important. And by all means, there's a lot of other ways besides Noshable. I think there's a lot of other cool amenities and just little things you can do, whether that's personalized soaps or there's a lot of things and there's a lot of opportunity to get creative. And I think the people who do that earlier versus later are going to stand out and really build their brand. So
Sure. Well, and as somebody who definitely gets hangry, I think that's a great idea
yeah,
to make sure they don't start off angry. I love that. I love that saying there. Yeah. Yes, just yesterday I was like, oh my gosh, I really need some food or I'm gonna get
yep,
there. So
yep.
yeah, that's a good point. Um, so is there anything that I haven't asked you yet about today that you're just like, oh my gosh, I gotta make sure that I share this with property managers and vacation rental owners?
I'm not 100% sure. I think we covered most of it. But we're happy to talk. I would like to say like we're a startup, so we love co-creating. So maybe if
Sure.
there's for some reason you're like, I don't know if this is going to fit into what I'm doing right now. Like just we love having conversations with property managers to better understand them. And our end goal, we are, by the way, completely free for property managers. So I know a lot of property managers are like worried about paying a SaaS subscription and they have this tech stack of all these different companies and they're paying 7, 10, $20 per property per month.
Yeah.
Being in the property management side of things myself, I was like, wanted to cut costs as much as possible for property managers. So all of the kind of charges get pushed to the guest in a sense, because they want to pay for convenience. They're on their vacation. They're already spending more money. And then on top of that, we actually offer rev share. So the software is free for property managers. They either can onboard their own operations to do the grocery concierge, and then that's the delivery fee when the guest is checking out, and that can go straight to their employees themselves to kind of reward them, or the cleaners if it's outsourced, or if we put you with a partner, you can use our partners. And then we mark up the groceries similar to Uber Eats and Instacart. Sorry to anyone listening who didn't realize, but those are getting marked up when you order from there. And we actually rev share part of that revenue with property managers. So it's a great way to drive additional revenue as well. So that is something that I don't think we hit on that I'd love to make sure people hear about.
Yeah. So do you have an ideal size of either property management company, vacation rental owners, that kind of thing? Like, are you really like just looking to work with property management companies with over 100 properties, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, I don't think we really discriminate on size. The one thing being early on and trying to build this trusted fulfillment network is we don't necessarily have partners in every city that we'd like to yet. So if you have your own team and you have your own cleaners or someone who's willing to do this when they're going to clean that property and they're like, hey, I want to make an extra, we let you set the delivery fee depending on your area and how much labor costs, however much that may be. That's totally cool. And we can pretty much, as long as we have a grocery store within a reasonable vicinity, get you onboarded within a week or so. But for people who would like us to find like trusted fulfillment in their area, we do prefer you to be a slightly larger property manager just to make it worth our time to like prioritize that area. But if you're in an area we already have partners, or if you can use your own like fulfillment team, then we're happy to get you onboarded as quickly as possible.
Those are really good points. Thanks for, mentioning that and kind of like explaining how that would work and really what you're looking for right now. And obviously your goal in the next year or two would be to continue to grow and really kind of hit that space running. So it's great seeing you today and having that chance to talk with you. So people can find you at shopnoshable.com, correct? Or they can find you on LinkedIn at Connor Paton.
Yep, correct.
All right. Anything else we should share?
No, just thanks for having me. It was great catching up with you this morning and talking to
Yeah.
your lovely listeners. So,
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being on.
yep.